Good morning. Welcome to today's Dashcam Diary of a Disabled with me, chronically happy. I am so cold this morning. It is only saying 44 degrees outside. And I am freezing my patootie off. It's sprinkling a little bit. It's gray clouds. Let me take you off my vent for a minute and show y'all. This is the kind of morning it is here in Oregon. 44 degrees. And just over rainy. Tilt it. There we go. That didn't work. There. Trying the best I can with my camera angles, guys. It is what it is. My dash cam didn't really work out. I think I left some videos on the SD card. My mom sold it to somebody on Facebook Marketplace, so they're gonna see a little bit of something on there. Just a dash cam I never posted. I'm tired, guys. Groggy. I didn't get to sleep until 2 a.m. Here I am back to my normal no makeup face. Ready for my doctor appointments. Ready to go see my uncle in jail later today. I think we're going to try and swing by the gospel mission and see if I can get anything for my uncle that he left there before he went to jail last week. I don't know if he himself is ever going to make it back over there. I don't even know what time they open. They open all day. I don't know. I don't know what the homeless shelter's hours are. I have a lot of stuff to look up to try and help my uncle out. I mean, he did it to himself. But there's so much that, my mom is sticking to her guns about he's got no one. He's got no one that cares for him to do anything about. No. I mean, I saw him at his arraignment hearing on Monday and it just looked terrible. He was hunched over. He couldn't even stand up straight because of his pain. So I really hope that the jail is at least giving him some kind of Toradol shot or something for his pain. Something to help with the inflammation. Which I know isn't going to do crap for his body in that crappy situation of it in jail. I haven't really grieved this yet. My uncle's got mental health issues. He took himself off his meds and got into an altercation with his ex-girlfriend, housemate, whatever you want to call her now, because my uncle is just impulsive, and then when alcohol is combined between his ex, which makes her whatever kind of person she is as a drunk, which isn't very fun, honestly. I don't like being around either one of the Oregon State Correctional Facility. That's not where my uncle is. He's being held in county. But still, it's sad. My uncle lived with us when I was in high school. When he was going through his first divorce with his first wife. So toxic. He does not know how to pick women very well. They're all alcoholics and drug abusers, substance users. I mean, at least this last one was only an alcoholic compared to his first wife. She was like doing every substance under the sun with my uncle while she was pregnant. And then also, like, here's some skeletons in my closet. Yeah, my aunt shot up my cousin, the older. He had my uncle and aunt, ex-aunt, had 2 kids together. When they were going through a divorce, I used to babysit his son. His son, complete chaos. His son has major behavioral issues and mental illness. I mean, what do you expect when your mom was drinking and doing all kinds of drugs when she's pregnant? You know, what do you expect? It doesn't explain why my uncle turned out the way he did. And yeah, my uncle has been annoying at times because he gets drunk and then he drunk dials family and just rants and raves and talks about what he's watching on the news, about what's going on in the country. You know, he watches the stupid national, I don't know if he watches Fox News or CNN, I'm not sure. Probably both. He doesn't work anymore. He can't. He had neck surgery not too long ago. He had hip replacement surgery. And due to his alcoholism, he has re-injured himself by falling, hit his head on a coffee table, so he's had like head injuries. Don't know how severe. Been in and out of the ER for like low potassium and magnesium, which is depleted when you drink alcohol to the extremes that him and his newest ex did. I love the guy, and it's just so sad that alcohol really does take over somebody's life. That's a disease. It's an illness. And he's not strong enough to want to do crap on his own. He's always had to pick out these stupid women, man. His picker has not been good. He's a really good guy when he's not under the influence of things, and that he can remember stuff. I mean, I've had some really good lucid conversations with him at times when he hasn't been drinking. But for him to look up and see me and my mom at the courtroom on Monday brought him to tears, because he's like, there is somebody that freaking cares about me. And he thought it was going to be the other twin. My mom has an identical twin, but her and his daughter have written him off. They just can't handle him right starts with a C. So C and M are both her half siblings. Her other half sibling, L, Linda, had passed away like 2 years ago. Only a month after her daughter died, my other cousin, or her daughter. Her daughter has some major alcoholism issues, and she died cirrhosis and cancer of the liver from her drinking problems. The alcoholism runs in my family. My mom's dad was an alcoholic. I think her mom's first husband was was an abusive alcoholic. The second one was slightly abusive alcoholic, more so verbally than physically. So my grandma's first husband was more physical and probably blunt mental abuse. Second husband, my mom's dad, more verbally an alcoholic. But there are stories about my grandfather chasing my youngest uncle A around with a machete because my Uncle A mouthed off, and so my grandfather chased him around the yard with a machete, saying he was going to unalive him. Never caught him. But I mean, there's all kinds of trauma in my mom's side of the family, and almost all of them have some kind of mental health things because of the trauma. They were 8 children in one house at various times. I mean, they were spread out every 2 years. The kids were, so my grandma was almost constantly pregnant. But when she was done having those babies, she worked her tailbone off. My grandma was a tough woman, but so very kind-hearted. I miss my grandmother every day. Grandma Kusher, I love you. Thank you for watching over me. I know she watches over me. Wherever her energy is. I know she's one of my angels that watches over me. I mean, it just kills me because, like, when I grew up with my mom's side of the family, even my dad's side, but we used to rent like 2 or 3 sites at a campground every summer, and all my aunts and uncles and cousins would all be camping together. And those were some of the best years of my life, being around my cousins all the time, and aunts and uncles. I love all my aunts and uncles and cousins, but as I'm now an adult and I see my aunts and uncles for who they are, I mean, honestly, I thought it was a normal thing for everybody to get DUIs. There's so many members of my family that have DUIs on their record. My mom, not. My mom never did. My mom's always been more of a responsible one. I think she had to take responsibility. She was forced responsibility from my grandma and grandpa, because my mom was an identical twin, and my mom's twin was a troublemaker. My mom was the good one. So my mom got blamed for everything my aunt did. So she's always had some kind of resentment towards her sister, her twin, her entire life. But we've always done things our entire lives together. Right now, my mom does not really want to talk to my aunt, because my mom's twin aunt, so I'll call her D, my mom's twin D, I'm just using the first letters of their name. But Dee lived in the same trailer park as my Uncle N that is in jail. And she has completely washed her hands of my uncle. She told my mom, don't talk to her about my uncle. And it really, really upset my mom. My mom was really, really upset. And she still is. My mom holds grudges. My Aunt Dee, my mama number 2, I like to call her, because my mom's twin. Same DNA, so she's still kind of my half mom. Genetically, she's half my mom too. I still love her so much, and I can understand because of my chronic illnesses and health issues. My mom just doesn't view chronic illness the same as I do, because she does, even though she witnesses and sees and knows everything I go through, there's a little part of my mom that she dissociates, and she just does not want to accept that there's anything wrong with herself or her children. We're all perfect in her eyes, but we're not. But that was where I had problems with my childhood trauma. I was expected to be basically a young adult my entire life. I should have known better. I should have known this. I had learning disabilities, dyslexia, speech impediment, hearing issues, health issues ever since I was a baby. I mean, I was born under trauma. I almost killed my mother, unalived my mom and I during my birthing process. For goodness sake, a volcano erupted the day I was born. I mean, but also it was my grandmother's birthday, so there's such significance in the date that I was born. It was my mom's birthday. I got to share that with my grandmother, which was very special to me, to being the only cousin that has the same birthday as my grandmother, and we all adored my grandmother. My grandmother took in every single one of her kids or grandkids if they couldn't get under control, which there's been a lot of behavioral issues within some of my cousins as well. I have been passed down through the generational trauma. I mean, there were times that my mom didn't even have shoes, guys. Coming from a large family, my grandma and grandpa were poor. They, had lots of children, lived in a big yard, but my grandfather and grandmother were like such they loved landscapes and flowers, and so their yard was immaculate all the time. It was a lot of work. I remember having to be forced to go out there as a kid to do stupid yard work all the flipping time. That taught us character for sure. But most of the time, those kids would try to just get out of the work, and we would just go run around and just disappear. But we were taught at a young age to do work. We were basically slave laborers, which is how my mom was raised, to do all the chores and stuff. I felt like a slave. My mom's OCD drove me absolutely bonkers with my learning disabilities and my ADHD and focus and all that. I would never get to cleaning. I get my allowance, but I would never get everything done. I would talk my parents into giving me the money anyway. I'd be like, I was kind of spoiled. I have to admit, I was more entitled than my brother. He didn't know how to talk his way into things like me. Or out of things. But I'm going to end it on that note while I'm laughing. I'm at my appointment, so I love you all. Thanks for joining me with some of my family drama. I'm grieving. I can't wait to talk to my uncle today to see how lucid he is, and if I can convince him like he needs to eat. He hasn't eaten the whole time he's been in jail for a week. This man's going to die in jail if he doesn't, or unalive. I'm trying to use the correct terminology. I don't want to be flagged by YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. I'm trying to change my terminology here. I just wish he can get the mental health that he needs and the stability. So hopefully when he comes out of jail, and then hopefully he goes into the hospital, get his meds right again. And once he gets out of that, hopefully maybe we can talk some sense into him and we can get him stable somewhere in like a halfway house or whatever it takes. We've got to get my uncle stable and away from that woman. He's not allowed to go back to her after everything that she's done to him. She don't deserve my uncle. But anyways, I love you all. Love those. I'm going to tell my uncle I love him today. Tell those that you love them, because you never know what's going to happen on the day-to-day. Tomorrow's never promised, but every day is a new day for you to start over and keep going. Never give up. Don't ever give up. Peace out.